Hello everyone, this is Minas, a technical support specialist and cybersecurity analyst. This video is about a new Linux tool that we are going to use or investigate on how to use this tool. So let me get first of all, let me say this is cybersecurity videos and I will talk about tools from Kali Linux. So Kali Linux is a Linux distribution used for penetration testing, security auditing. There are a wide array of tools. If you can look at the file here, there are like a bunch of tools that we use for cybersecurity analyst, or like if you want to secure an environment, audit an environment and see if there is any security holes in the infrastructure or in the network. There are lots of tools. I've already made a video about an overview of every tool, so today we're going to talk about Nmap. So Nmap is a network mapper. That's an open source tool used for network discovery and security auditing. It can be used for discover hosts, services, operating systems, and vulnerabilities on a network. It's one of the most popular tools for penetration testing and network administrator. So, how we are going to use this one? Let's jump in Kali Linux. I have Kali Linux here. Let me just minimize this one so you can see the other one. Okay, and yes, we see it now. So Nmap, let's talk about how to use the tool itself. So I'm going to put this one here and then this one here. Or we just let's minimize it for now and I will show you everything later on. So on Kali Linux, I'm using virtual machine to install Kali Linux on it. I'm using VMware workstation. So I'm going to open the terminal or the command prompt in Linux, and let's say nmap and say no target were specified. So how to get the help of the tool itself? So you just type nmap and then -h and press enter. You get the help or the manual of the tool itself. Let's go up now. And so it's say using nmap scan types, which is the scan types here or the parameters, options, and then target specified. What does this mean? So first you have all the parameters that you can use. Let's see if we're using, let's P, this means port range. We'll use this later on in the video. So if I'm using -p and then I put the port range, and it will install the this port number or port range. If I put this one, it will scan all the available ports from port number 1 to port 65,535. SV, that's a small s and a capital V, and it's in Linux. Capital and small is very important. So if it's say here capital L, small s, it means a small s. You cannot use a capital S. It will go to another parameter. Probe open ports to determine services and version information, and so on. So you can type nmap -h or the tool name and then space -h. It will get you all the help available for the tool itself, and it will give you everything on how to use the tool itself. And at the end there is some examples that how you can use the tool itself. So let's clear this one and start using the tool itself. So on Nmap, let's say basic host discovery. if you use nmap minus sn, this means perform a ping scan on the entire network to discover all active hosts without scanning individual ports. SN stands for ping scan. So this means if you type nmap minus n and then put the network address, so the network, I will show you how to get the network address, but /24 means from 0 to .0 to .255, and it will scan the whole network through this IP range. So let's minimize this one, jump back again to Kali Linux. So how are you going to use? Let's see which network is Kali Linux. So I'm trying to get the IP address. So I have the IP address of Kali Linux itself, 192.168.244.129. So that's the IP address of Kali itself. Now to use Nmap to scan the whole network, so I will say Nmap, and what was the parameter again? So it was minus small n, small s, small n. So I will just say small sn, and then type the network address 192.168.244, and then I will put, instead of putting 129, which is one IP address, I just need to tell the Nmap tool to scan the whole network. So I will just put a 0, as you can see, and then /24. This means it will scan from .0 to .255, the whole network for this address. If I press enter, it will scan the network and will tell me there is 0.1 host is up, 0.2 host is up, and 0.131 the host is up, 254 host is up. This is something related to the networks, that's not a machine itself. And 129, which is this Kali Linux host, is up. So it's telling you 256 IP addresses scanned, 5 hosts are up and scanned in around 1 or 2 seconds. Now I have another virtual machine here that we are going to test. So let me get this IP address. So this IP address is 0.131. So we are going to use 131 for our testing. I will just close this one. Let's go back to our Kali Linux and then to the tool. So Nmap minus p, that will scan the whole ports on specific address. So if I say here Nmap, let me minimize this one. So if I will say here Nmap minus p, and then 1 to 65,535, this means it will scan the whole range of ports on this virtual machine that is on, which is this one now. So this is a long range of ports, so I'm just gonna say let's do the first maybe 30 and then press enter. Let's say all 30 port scans are in ignored states. There is no response and the MAC address, and it's telling me it's a virtual machine. So I know from this one it's a virtual machine, not a physical machine. Let's put maybe first 20. Let's see. Yep, now I get some results. So it's say port 1 till port 20. Say here that's FTP data, MSP, unknown, 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 and so on. So that's how you scan for ports. Let's see what other examples. So I'm trying to get the service version detection. So this one will attempt to detect the version of services running on the target itself. So let's try this one. That's minus s, small s, capital V, and then the IP address. So let's try this one here. So let me clear the screen. Nmap minus small s and then capital V, and then the IP address itself. And we're waiting. Yep, okay. So Nmap scan report for the IP address ones that ends with 131. 999 filter TCP ports. Let's say here port number 3389, that's a TCP port, which is internal services, that's service for remote desktop. And then the operating system is Windows. So I know from this that support 3389 is open and the operating system is Windows. So I'm getting some information from scanning one IP address itself. Let's jump to the next one. So there is an example to get the operating system itself on a machine. So this one minus capital O will attempt to detect the operating system of the target. So let's try this one also. So I will just let me clear the screen again. Say nmap minus capital O and then enter the IP address. We know it's a Windows from previous scans, but let's try to get more information about this one. So this one doesn't say anything about the Windows. This is because the firewall on the machine itself is on. You're not getting more information about this. We just get the open port, and we know this one is for remote desktop. If you look up this port number on Google or anything, it will tell you what is the port do. But we don't have any information here. I know that from here, if I'm not getting some information or a lot of information, this means sometimes the firewall is up. Let's jump to this one and let's go to the firewall itself. What if I disable the firewall on this one? I'm just gonna show you if the firewall is off, if there is no if there is any protection, if there isn't any protection on the machine itself. So I'm now disabling all the protection on the machines. There is no firewall, and I believe I did not install any antivirus on this one. Yeah, there is no antivirus. So if there is nothing protecting the machine itself, and then I do the same scan, let me clear first, we can see it again. So if I do the same scan again, now I'm getting some results. So because I turned off the firewall, I have port 135 is open, 139 is open, 445 is open, and this one 3389, which is open before but now it's still in the list. And the MAC address, and between brackets it say VMware. That means this machine, it's a virtual machine. It detects it, and I know now it's a virtual machine, not a physical machine. Now it's telling me it's Windows 10 and the version itself. So sometimes it does not detect the exact information. Other tool will do this, but this is how you start learning about a device on the network itself. I know that this is Windows 10 and that's the build number 1709 or 1909. So that's between these two. So I know now between these two, that's the version of the Windows, probably the Windows on this one. So if we go, let's check. I'm not entirely sure what version, which build of this one. Does it say? Yeah, it said here 19045. I believe that's the one. I think. No, these are different numbers. But anyway, you know now the detections of this machine. It's telling us Windows 10, and these are the open ports. From here, most probably because I'm getting some information, I can see that the firewall is down. If I put, let me put the firewall up again. So if we put up, right, so the firewall is up on this machine, and let me clear, and let's try to detect it again. Now I'm not getting the whole information that I got before, but I just got which port is open on this one. But at least I know if the firewall is up. It's first, it's a virtual machine, and second, it's MS, which is Microsoft, so most probably this is a Windows machine. And then I can use other tool to detect if there is any security holes on this machine. This is how we use Nmap. There are some other examples that I've put here that there is no need, but at least let me minimize this one. So if you're gonna use Nmap and you want to know more, you just go to the help and you read about all the parameters that you can use, and it will tell you what does this parameter do, and this is how you use Nmap. Thank you for watching, and wait for other videos for other tools. Have a good day.